Okay, so up to virtual network we have completed from last class. So do you have any questions? So we can take it up and we can start, or we can proceed for other options in the VM service.
From my end, good, bro.
Who is that?
Yeah, from my end, good.
Okay, so what is energy?
Network security group, and it acts as a firewall for the NIC level, and it will allow alternate traffic from the resource.
Yeah, it acts as a firewall. It can allow or deny the traffic. So you can able to control the traffic for specifying the source and destination. So if you want to give more, so you are allowing or denying the traffic. So what you are going to deny? So you are allowing the traffic or denying the traffic for specific source and destination. Suppose one of the VM you should only talk with only one database. Okay, other maybe the cases will be indifferent, right? How you are going to restrict the traffic, allow or deny.
Yeah.
Either source and destination of the VMs or the subnets, or you are going to allow the specific ports also. Means it has to communicate the source and destination, which port has to be allowed those IP source and destination. So currently we just have explained you as you said, that is correct. So currently I have explained you only that. So when we are talking about the rules, how we are going to controlling the traffic using the rules, that time we can discuss that what are the options we can use. We can do individual IPs and subnet IPs or virtual networks, or we have a service based, and we have port wise or custom port wise. How we can do allow or deny, that we'll discuss later. Okay. Okay, if you want to I want to change my IP of the VM. So what is the prerequisites you require?
If you want to change IP,
yes,
I mean you're saying that public IP or private IP?
Yeah.
Or you need to change from static to dynamic?
I want my private IP has to change to one. Currently it is there 4.5. Okay, now I want to change to 4.6.
We have to down the VM and need to change.
Okay. And other options. Do you can you explain me about the DNS inheritance?
DNS inheritance, it will be two options. One is we can choose option like inherit from the virtual network. So it will automatically take Azure DNS server from the Azure. And it is there one more custom DNS. We can give our custom server IP address. So it will take DNS from the custom server. So these two options are available.
Yeah. So when you're using defining the DNS IP, so the name resolution, the records which are you are creating, the maintaining the A records or C records, right? That's going to resolving from that DNS server. Okay. Okay. Now we are going to start about the connect. Everyone is having the same perception, right? What we are discussing, right? So if you have anything still doubts, you connect. You can ask me right away. Okay. I have deleted the public IP of this VM, so to save the cost, so let me add the public IP. If I want to show you how to connect that options now. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about connect option. Let me power on the VM. So we have a if you talk about the connection, we have a three types. So one is RDP, one is SSH, one is base tier. So what are these three type connection methods to access the VM? So these are the methods which we are using to take the RDP of your virtual machine. So when we are going to use that RDP, how we are going to connect it, and how we are using SSH and best here. Okay. So when we talk about the connections, first one is RDP, right? So when you want to connect this virtual machine, and you need a public IP, okay, and which port you are defined that VM, so you can use that same port, and you can use this IP using that MSTS, and you can use this public IP and use the port number. You can able to RDP of this VM. Okay, you can try yourself to try to take RDP. So currently the VM agent, it's taking time 1 or 2 minutes to refresh it to be run that service. So once you that it been the VM is healthy, then you can able to take the RDP of using this public IP. So either you can use this public IP and the port, you can take the RDP via MSTSC, or you can directly download this RDP file here. Once you click the download, okay, it will download the RDP file. Okay, while using that, you can directly connect this. So using this directly, you can able to connect. So you can see, right, same IP is coming, so you can use for the connect. Okay, so here you have to enter the login details. So currently we are using that I have created with the Azure admin, so I'm using that Azure admin account. So this way you can able to take the RDP of the VM. Okay, and the next option is SSH. So it's working with the port 22, right? You know that port 22 is going to be communicated SSH. And here we can use the two types. One is the username password, or we can use for the private key, the private key file, the method. So when it will define, that is when you are creating a VM, you are going to choose which method. You are going to choose the username password method. Then you can log in with this Linux machine using putty, using username password, or you are the login method, you are giving that private key file. Then you have to use that file of like a private key uh, file path while taking the RDP through putty. So using this you can able to RDP. So this is the Windows machine, right? So you can't able to take the RDP of the connection of using SSH connection type. So because of this is Windows machine, we can't connect. Okay, this is the second method. If you have any Linux machines, you have to choose this method. So that which method you are going to follow, that you have to take the you have to choose that option while creating a VM. So while creating a VM, we have given this currently which are the VM we have built it, and we have taken the RDP, right? We have given that Azure admin and password. So same way, if you want to use the same username password for the Linux machine, you can use. Otherwise, you don't want to use the username password login method, and you want to use for the SSH private key file, then you can use that. You can store that in the your machine, and you have to browse that when you want to log in, to authenticate that, to make the connection using putty. Okay, this is for Linux. And what is the Bayesian method? This is one of the method. Okay, so this is uh, why this feature came into the picture in the sense. So we have already two options, right? RDP and SSH. So based upon the operating system, we can choose the which method is suitable, so we can use that. So now coming to the Bayesian, so maybe you could have question now right away. So currently we are assigning the public IP of machine to take the RDP, correct? So you can see that it's a public IP. So you are accessing the VM over the internet now. So you are not accessing in the private. Suppose, even though I want to access my VM publicly to more secure, I don't want to expose the public IP, and the connection should not be exposed to the public network. It should be like a secure tunnel should be connect that my VMs, but it has to be accessed in the internet only. So for that, the Microsoft given this bastion service. So this service is required one separate subnet. Okay, you need one. You have to create each VNet. We have to create this bastion subnet, and that once you create a bastion prerequisite. Sorry, so let me finish the prerequisite. We need one subnet with /26, and we need one public IP to any configure this bastion service. So if you want to take the RDP of any mission, so you need the bastion service. If you want to, if specifically you want to take the RDP over the internet with the more secure, then you have to enable the bastion service for this VNet. So each VNet, this is not for the common for entire your single service for the entire any estate. So this service only from the VNet level. So each VNet you have to create that bastion service to take RDP your VM more securely. So this is the another method. So this method also you can use both RDP and SSH. If you click the Windows machine, it will ask you to username password, and let me use this. If you use this, then it will ask you to create a bastion service. Okay, if you create this, or you can deploy, it will create with the prerequisite with the this in this resource group only. So with this IP, and it will this is the name of the bastion. So with the /26, it automatically it will create the new subnet, and it will create the bastion service. Okay, then you can see that same like that how you are currently seeing the RDP connection, right? So same like that, it will ask you here you are getting the username, sorry, public IP and password, right? Same like that, it will ask you the username and password. You can directly you can enter here, and you can log into the that specific VM. Each VM will get this kind of options. When you go for the bastion service, you can use that. It will come, click on use, it will come. But if you want to tell me, they can tell you right away, but better we can discuss in the virtual network where we are discussing. Otherwise we can try to create it actually. Otherwise let me deploy it, and we can see how we can able to connect and what options it will come. Okay, let me configure manually. So if you configure manually, so you are going to tell, you are going to defining that what is the bastion service name. Okay, South, right? India South or Asia South, something, right? Bastion, this is the name I have given. Okay, so the question we have chosen the VM is India South, right? Yeah, South India we have chosen. So we have to select that VNet. So we have, this is the VNet currently we have, right? So we are going to create that bastion service in the same VNet. Okay, so that's why you are getting error because of this VNet. You don't have currently with this subnet range will come with the /26. This is the prerequisite I told you, right? So first you have to create that bastion subnet there when you are going for the manual configuration. So I'm just creating the subnet for the bastion. So I've created name, I've given the demo bastion subnet, I've given that. So I used for the /26. So this is the prerequisite, and we need one public IP for the same. Okay. And if we go, it won't come again. You have to refresh it. Okay. You can do here. Otherwise, you can directly go for the all services. Then you can go for the bastion service. There also you can create it. Okay. Anything is fine. You can see, right, bastions. Here you can see there is currently you don't have any bastion services. Okay, so you are going to create first time, right? So and you click on the create. We have only one. I can use the demo one RG. I can use demo vnet bastion and India South, right? South India. Yep. And let me select the vnet. New bastion subnet prefix at least 26. We have given it, right? It's not affected or what? So the name should come like this. Yeah, you can see, right? So it should be like with this name, and should be the /26. The subnet should be created. Once you create it, so you need a public IP. So with this, your bastion service, you can configure and you can run it. So once you have the bastion service, you can able to take the RDPs without public IP. I will show you that. Let me give yeah, that's it. Okay, we're going for the tags. So if we have anything, and we are going for the same, so we are not specifying with any the Kerberos authentication or anything. So we are going for the default. We have to allow the basic RDP connections. Okay, so this is the current configuration of your baseline service. Okay, we are just validating here, and you are going to create it. So this way you can able to create the baseline service. Okay, so the baseline service used to take the connect the VMs in the secure. So this baseline is like creating the like it's like acts like a, you can assume like it's a VPN. It's creating a secure tunnel from Azure to over the internet, so you can able to access the VM to securely without public IP. So that's way the VM is not exposing in your internet. So you can't, anyone can't try to like the VM allow is not allowed to compromise anything. Still it is progressing. Like it maybe it will take 2 minutes to complete. Still it's in progress.
If you want to use Bastion service, we need a public IP, right? So that public IP is extra one or already existing one we can use.
No, we are creating a new public IP. So that is using for the making the connection from VNet to based in service. From based in service is in the back is using from the Microsoft. Okay, that is the backend service. So how we have a VM service, right? That okay, that based in service is allowing a with the secure tunnel. So it's allowing the your RDP connection with the your private IP in the secure tunnel. Even though when you have a based in service, it allows you to access over the internet, but in the secure path. But when you're using the basic service, UVM doesn't require a public IP. Only the basic
Okay.
service is required a public IP to make them. That is a prerequisite to connect to work for the basic service actually. But it's not required the public IP, so you no need to expose all the VMs or the internet using the public IP. So once we have this basic service, so with private IP, we can able to access the VMs. So if you have a free IP, you can assign for that while creating a based service. If you doesn't have that, you can create it while while creating the service. You can create that with the new IP. It's taking too long. Yeah. So now it's created, right? If we go for that resource, you can see now the based in service. Okay. So if you go for the best in service, now see the best in service is created in this resource group and in under this subscription, and this in that best in service is there in this VNet. Okay, this is the public IP of that. Okay. Okay, and if you want to verify, you can go and you can verify that. Before we don't have the best in service anyone, right? Now we can go and see the best in services. You can see that. You can see, right? Now this is the demo VNet best here. So this is the best in service. Okay. Now go for that VM because of, so now you have created a best in service where? Hello.
In resource group.
No. Any resource you want to create, it's required a resource group. But
Mm.
configuring, you have selected a VNet, right?
Yeah, under the VNet we created.
VNet service is tagged to which VNet? So
Okay.
that VNet contains now based in. You got it? So while creating a based in service, you have to select the virtual network, then the subnet, right? So based upon which VNet and which subnet you are going to select. So the based in service been assigned to that particular VNet. So now currently the based in is assigned to this VNet. Okay, demo one RG-VNet. It's been assigned. Okay, now this VNet have a VM, right? So this is we have a VM, right? Suppose now basin is assigned for this VNet, then this VM has to support that best in service, correct? Because of we have best in services enabled for this VNet. Now let me see. This is the connect, right? Same option you can see here also. Here also you can see. Okay, either you can use here or either you can connect here also. Okay. So now you can click on here and you can click on use based in service. It has to allow it will ask you to username password. Okay, if you now you give the username password.
VNet is different from VM to VM, or we can multiple VMs we can allow it's built for a sub VNet.
How we have on-prem, right? We have a virtual network and we have a switches. With this subnet, we can build number of VMs based upon the subnet range. You are going to build, and based upon the VNet address space range.
Okay.
So we can build it number of VMs. It's not.
So, so under this VNet, if we have 10 VMs, the bastion service will have used for 10 VMs also.
VMs which are there in this VNet. So all the VMs we can able to take the RDP using this based-in service. Okay, that's what I'm telling. This is only for the VNet level. This based-in service from the VNet level. Okay, once this service have from the VNet, then all the that VNet maybe it's not only 100. Okay, maybe in 300 or 400.
Okay.
All 400 VMs you can able to access.
Okay.
Okay. So now you can see, right? Now your station was disconnected. Okay. So you can see right now, because of I connected with the same user, right? So my RDP connection is disconnected. Okay, don't scare there. Error. Okay, now you can see, now you are in the portal and same console. You see, in the browser only you are able to take the RDP. Correct?
Yeah.
Now you are in your best in this one is disconnected because of same account. I have tried to log in here as well, Azure admin. So I RDP also I take Azure admin. So that's why my MSTS RDP connection was disconnected. So now I am able to connect from using best in service. So this way you can able to. So did you define anything in the public IP you are using it? No. Using service, it's creating the RDP connection. So this way you can able to protect as per the security standards. This is the secure way you can take the RDP. Okay. So this is wherever you have internet, the best in service is there. You can anywhere you can able to take the RDP of that feed. Okay. You have any doubts? Any question?
So best in service is okay, bro. If you want to take RDP of 10 VMs, we have to take only in the browser only, na? Like this 10 tabs should be there.
You can see this is the one VM. Okay. We have VM 02. You click on this same way, you can try to connect. It will open one more tab. That's it. The how in VMware VM console you are using, right? Right click and click on
Correct.
the VM console. Same kind of concept here also.
Okay. If you want NVM, 10 tabs should be there.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
click the 10 tabs. Okay, then it's a RDP connection. The VM RDP connection. It will be a 10 connections. So you are entering this one like a tab, and you click connect, then it will create a one more tab. After that, see how it looks like. Same, it will get created.
Okay.
So this way you can able to connect the VMs. Okay, one is RDP and one is SSH and one is a base chain. Okay, you got it right. So the base chain is like a Azure service that it will allow you like to take the RDP, and it's more to basically this base chain service is to secure connections actually. So because of it not allowing that public IP, and you are using that private connection IP, because of that base chain service is making the RDP connection from the VNet level. So VNet level, you are not giving public IP of any VM. So we have only private IP of that VMs. So it's making the RDP connection using the private IP. So that way the base chain is providing the secure connection for your VMs. Okay. Okay, guys, if you still have any doubt. Hello.
Yeah, it's fine, bro.
No, tell me if you're still confusing, I will tell you one thing. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Everyone is fine, or
that SSH is only in Linux machines, right?
yes, that SSH is only for Linux machine. In the Linux also, if you want to connect with the username password, it's possible in Azure. So if you that username password, when it will come like you see here, right? It's asking for the username password, right? Same like that. Once you enable the base chain service, Linux machines also, you click the base chain service, it will ask you the username password. Okay, or the way like the VM have a username password, you can use username password, or if you want to use the private the key file, then the password, the encryption way, it will the password store in that file. You can connect using that private key file. Okay, in the RDP Linux servers we can connect in two ways, but Windows machine we can use only RDP, right? So but here the base is to the different service we are using to make the RDP. That is the difference compared to other two options.
Putty option is not available here.
So directly
In SSH has putty, right?
Directly putty through console. This is a console you can't able to. If you log in from this VM, suppose this is the Windows machine. Okay, so you have a putty here. You can using the putty, you can have the IP. You can click go for the connect and give the username password. You can connect. Otherwise, you can use the private key file and you can connect. But in this browser, you can't use the putty. You have to use the putty file.
Okay.
Okay, otherwise we have to other connects, we can use that. But in this, you can directly connect this is the connection type in the console. In the Azure console, we have a connection type. Okay, but if you want to use putty will support for the Linux machine. Yes. You're fine. Or Chandra, Suman, right? Suman, everyone fine, right?
Yeah, fine, bro.
Yeah.
Yes, bro.
Yeah. So this is the Windows admin center. So this is a newly coming actually. So this is one of the feature, but I will tell you what is this feature. Okay, but currently it's been not live. So this is the one of the feature it's going to implement to like for troubleshooting purpose. So we have a seamless manage your Windows server. So this is the one tool where you can assign the different ports and you can test it, and for troubleshooting purpose we can use this Windows admin center. So currently it has been not live, still is in preview mode only, still the Microsoft is testing. So this way it will come, any feature comes, right? So this way it will be in bracket, it will come a preview. Okay, that is come, still is not live. Okay, once this is removed, so we can use this 100%. We can utilize that service for those resources. So this is just to control this and manage the virtual machine in centrally. I mean, like central location, how we are going to manage that all the resources. So that's why they are implementing the tool this. Okay. So for this, we have to install this agent. Once you install this agent in this VM, then only you can manage your VM in this browser. Only you can manage all the things in the central location in one this console using this Windows Admin Center. So currently, you don't need to worry about this. Is still in preview, so people are not aware of that. Okay. So, and one more thing is this: the disk and size is very important. Compared to size, the disk option is very important. You have to know, you have to listen very carefully. Okay. So coming to the disk, okay, I have to tell you. So what is a disk? So what are the types of disks? Okay, basically in Azure, we have two types of disks. One is managed disk and one is unmanaged disk. So what is mean by managed disk? So managed disk is managed by Microsoft. Means, so when you want to create a disk, you'll create it. Okay, but the disk, if you have any failures of the hardware, or you providing the size, how you are like if you have 5 TB, you need 100 TB, whatever it is, you no need to maintain the capacity of that hardware, and you can't verify, you don't need to verify thing, and you don't need to maintain the high availability of that. So you are nothing to do that stuff. Okay, everything is managing by Microsoft. So suppose just you can create the disk and you can utilize that, like copying data, and you can attach for the VM. That way you can utilize for the disk, but the managing is by Microsoft. How we are, you can maybe you have a question like how we are using it, how they are managing it. Okay. Now if you can see here, we have just, I'm giving example here. Okay, we have a OS disk here. Okay, you can see this is OS disk and this is my data disk. One disk data disk is there, one is OS disk is there. So now if you go and click here disk, you can't see the file extension also. You don't know, you can see the options. You can manage this. Manage in the sense you can change the configuration, but the disk managing, that end-to-end managing is by Microsoft. Because of the, if you have a file like VHD file or VMDK file, so you can able to modify, you can able to move, you can do some kind of stuff in the when you have a data um, center in the storage account, right? So that kind of stuff you can't able to do directly. So because of this storage accounts are managing by Microsoft. There is called a one more called unmanaged disk. That kind of disk we have to manage. How we are going to manage in the sense? So in manage in the sense, you have to create a one storage account, separate storage account, and there in that storage account you have to create a disk. Okay, once you create a disk, that file you can able to see in the storage. So what is the extension? So you are going to manage the storage account, and you are going to manage what are the disk you have created, and inside the storage account you are going to manage. That disk can be attached for any VM or any purpose you can use it. So in the difference is there, when you go for the managed disk, the Microsoft is going to be support for everything. They are managing it. If you go for unmanaged, you have to manage that disk in particular storage account. Without storage account, you can't able to create a unmanaged disk. Okay, that is the difference about managed disk and unmanaged disk. This is very important. Okay, 100% they will ask you in interview. Did you understand? Then only I can go for next step. Okay, did you understand what is mean by, if maybe you can remember what is if maybe they will ask you. Okay, you can try to understand now currently. So managed disk is managing by Microsoft, unmanaged disk is managing by ourselves in the sense we are managing it. Okay, so that's it. So if how Microsoft is managing, how we are managing, you have to understand. That way you have to know that.
Okay.
Unmanaged disk in the sense you need a storage account. In that you are going to create a managed disk. It means
Yes.
storage account in the sense nothing but your data store. Okay.
Okay.
Creating a VM or everything, it will create a files, right? VMDK file or VHD files. Same like that, you are creating while creating a VM, if you give that storage account, or while creating a disk, you can give the path of the storage account, it will create your disk in there. So once disk is created, if a disk is corrupted, you should be the manageable. If what kind of access you want to provide the disk, you want to move or you want to delete everything, you are going to do it. So end-to-end managing by you. So that's why we are calling it as a unmanaged disk, because of Microsoft is not managing. That's why that name defined as an unmanaged disk.
Okay.
Okay. Now that is the basic types of disks: unmanaged, unmanaged. Now once you call, there is a twist. If there's someone call you, so what is the VM disks? Okay, so what are the different types of disks in the sense that comes as entire Azure? Okay, that is managed and unmanaged. If someone asks, so we have a VM, so what are the different type disks in the VM? So that comes as a OS disk and data disk. You got it right?
Yeah.
Okay, now we have a OS disk. This OS disk by default it will come as a 127 GB. Once you create a VM, so you can't able to define, you can't decrease or increasing while creating VM. Once create a VM, you are not going to choose that OS file also where it's going to come. While configuring VM, you can't able to see this disk only if you can create a data disk only. This option will come. Did you remember that day we have selected
Yes.
standard STD of 4 GB and we created while creating a VM, we have created one disk. So that way you can able to create a data disk, but you can't able to create. In the means by default, when select the OS and the configuration, this OS disk by default it will come with the VM creation. Okay, this you can select that what storage type if you want, you can select, but size you can't able to select. Okay, based upon the size and the storage type, the maximum high ups and throughput it will come by default. Okay, means we have a standards for that each storage type, so based upon that it will be assigned. Okay, this is called OS disk. Okay, and coming to the data disk which you are going to create based upon your requirement. It comes as a OS disk, right? So you will this no need to worry. And coming to the data disk, this is based upon like how many disks do you need. Okay, like when you are anyone is requesting you to build request, means like a VM they want to create for them, they are requesting you to create a VM, then you have to ask them, so how many data disks you need. Okay, how many what is the sizes of the disk, what types of storage account do you want to use it. Okay, that you have to get the information. So now these things will create later stage also in the data disk if how many you want. Okay, this is called a data disk. So the OS disk using for the OS purpose. If other disks which we are going for the copying storing the data, we use for the, you'll call it as a data disk. And there is a one more twist here. This is only from Azure. Okay, now you have created a multiple disks here. Okay, anyhow, let me show you in the VM. Currently, how many disks should be here? How many currently I have here? How many disks?
Two.
So how many should be in the OS?
2.
Okay, correct. So in the OS it should be 2, correct?
2.
Yeah. So currently how many is there?
2.
2.
So what is the size of my other drive? 4 GB, right?
4 GB.
Yes.
You got it. This I am seeing disk 2. This
Yeah.
is actually exact this one. Okay. What you are seeing now currently in the OS level, this is not that one.
It will open now.
Sorry, no, this is not that disk. That's what I'm telling.
Okay. But 4 GB is there, right?
Not this is the one. Okay.
Okay.
That currently I am going for the disk management. This is the one exactly that 4 GB drive which you are created, here, right? So this is one I've created just now only. I've logged into the
Yeah.
Once I added a VM. So currently whenever you build a VM, you are adding a storage of that VM. Okay, then you have to initialize that as a disk, right? We are not done actually, correct? Then it should be there. So it is showing, even though it's showing two disks.
Mm,
I will explain you that is what is this disk, why it comes, that I will explain.
okay.
Okay, once I'm giving. So what is mean by MBR and GPT? Do you have any idea?
Mm, GPT
No.
means it's like dynamic.
This is very basic here. This is comes as a voice level, right? So master boot record is used for, it will support maximum the
2
disk
TB.
only for 2 TB. So the
Correct.
capacity. So that NTFS file system is allowed only for, it's been for 2 TB. GPT, it will be it will support more than 2 TB. It will support. That's why normally basically we don't know, right, current and future like capacity is going to be. So better why we can't use for that. Okay.
If we use MBR, if we want to extend more than 2 TB, VM should be down.
You can't.
If GPT is there, we can do it in online itself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So normally we can use. So now this is my 4 GB, correct?
Yes.
I'm going to create a new volume of that. So now I created a new volume. This is my data disk, correct? So we can go and see. We can have 3 disks. But I have a 2 disks, right? One is OS and one is data. Why for 3 disks here? So now once you coming to the OS level, this what you call? Do you call as a disk this? Do you call as a volumes, or do you call as disk? What you will call this?
Drives or disks.
That is called as a drives. Okay, C drive, D drive, F drive, whatever you call it. Okay, always don't compare with, call it as and compare with this, because of these are the disks and these are the drives. When you're talking about the terminology, it should be very specific.
Okay.
Inside the voice you have to call it as a drives. When you talk about the Azure, you should call it as a disks. Okay, this is one terminology. Okay, now why this temporary storage, why it came, where it came? This is giving by Microsoft by free for us. For any VM you create, by defaultly they will call it as a temporary storage. If you any VM you go and create, this drive will come by defaultly for all the operating systems. Okay, how it comes and what sizes it will come, I'll explain you that based upon your VM size. Okay, so if you go for VM size, you can see here. So this is the data disk, how many supports, and let me go scroll down here a little bit. So here you can see, right, temporary storage. So now based upon the operating system, so which operating system size, how much temporary storage will get, based upon the size you will get the temporary storage. Okay. So this is free, which is giving by Microsoft free for paging file. Okay, the virtual file they are giving for temporary storage for each VM. So based upon the VM size, it's going to change the temporary storage. So currently which you are seeing is this is 4 GB, right? For based upon this VM size. Maybe if you go and choose the different VM size, then temporary storage drive size will get vary. Okay, so don't, this is called a temporary drive, which is giving by Microsoft freely for the VM, is using for the paging file, not to store any data. We
can't store any our data here.
Not recommend to store any data or configuration or installations or like database files or whatever the important data. We should not recommend to store anything in this file, in this D drive, because of if you VM will the migrate, I mean to say, if you start and stop that VM or redeploy the VM, or when you try to resize in the VM, the chances to get clean up all the data in here. Okay, this it will not be permanent storage drive to us. This will get cleaned automatically, so it will get chances to delete. So we should not recommend to use to store the any configurations of the applications or keeping the data here in the D drive. So this is only for the paging file. Okay.
Okay, shall we change the drive letter D to E or E to F like that?
You can change. You can try to change.
Okay.
Not ask the question. You can try to, if you give that drive letter here, different one here.
Yeah, just asking. We can change, right?
Okay.
Okay.
You can change the drive letter. If you give another one, then you can, for that you can assign for H for this. Okay. What is error it gets? But you can able to change.
Okay.
Some the drive letter might not run correctly. Do you want to continue? Yes.
Yes.
Something.
It's good.
We can change it. I remember
Okay.
we have done that. Yeah. Okay. Drive letter.
Okay.
That's fine. Okay, this one it's not allowed. So, but this drive letter will come for the common for all the servers. It will be the drive letter will be D only. And I remember I changed previously. The parameter is incorrect. Yeah, maybe some issue. I remember I changed it. Maybe otherwise, maybe you know, right? And Microsoft they will announce doing some changes frequently. Okay, maybe they have reserved this drive letter for this. Maybe recently some changes. Maybe that time
Okay.
that maybe could not allowed. So normally I remember a long back. It's not newly. It's long back. I changed it. So there is a database over. They want to be read drive actually. So that time I changed the drive letter. I remember.
Okay.
Okay, so this way you can that temporary drive comes in the picture. Okay.
Okay.
What we understand now in the disk, there are two types of disks. One is managed and unmanaged. And in the Azure VM, we have a two types of disk. One is OS disk and one is data disk. Okay. So if you want to data disk, you have a number of you can able to create. But how many you can able to create? How many disks it will support to 100 disks to create? It will support for 20 disks to support 20 disks to create here. How many disks is going to support? That comes is the based upon the VM size. So you can go on the VM size. Here you can see, right? So now currently this is the VM. So it will support only two drives of two sorry, not like you should not call it a drives. Two data disks it will support. Okay, now currently one data disk, right? It will support one more data disk. If you try to create a 3 and 4, it won't support to create a another data disk in the Azure.
Okay. In that case, disk size will be the our issue. How much GB we can give?
Yeah, I will tell
1 TB, 2 TB, 3 TB also.
you. I will tell you one by one. I'm going for
Okay.
So now currently how many disks? Okay. So based upon the VM size, you have to know that which VM size it's going to be support, how many maximum the disk data disk will going to support. Okay, so you where you can validate, if you go for the VM size, you can see that what is the current my VM size. This VM size, what is that? So currently it is my VM size is B1S. Okay, for this VM size it will support only two data disks. Okay, then compared to size, it will support maximum 32 TB one drive. You got it?
32 TB.
32 TB.
Okay.
Okay, I will tell you. There is still, even you ask, I told you, but I will tell you some. We have some more things to discuss. So this way, based upon the operating system, you can see it will support the sizes, different sizes. So see, 8 disk it will support here. So we have it 16 disk it will support. So based upon the VM size, the configuration, the disks will support for this data disk. How many data disk it will support? It will get weight. Okay. Suppose maybe in real time, maybe you can get the this issue. Okay. You but currently you know that I can create a disk. Okay. I'm going to keep on creating disks. Okay. It's been you didn't validate that what is the maximum support, and you have committed to a customer. So I'm going to create, and you have created a change window. Okay. So while doing that activity, so you are getting the error. So you are unable to create. Okay, so that errors will come it only when you have exceeded the maximum support data disks. Okay, so this is when you want to increasing the any creating number of disks for existing VM, or when you are giving information to the customer. So almost recommend to go and check the what is current configuration and what is the user is requesting, is it feasible to support with this VM size? Not. So if user currently, what is this is the D1 S, right? So currently it will support only 2, but customer want, I need like 8 disk, I need, he's asking 100, I need that, I don't need that reason, I need. Okay, that time yes, we can do it, but you have to change the VM size configuration. So which size is going to support for the 8 disk? So this is going to support for 8 disk. So when you are going for this your entire configuration of the VM, it will change. So currently it is a 1 GB memory and 1 GB CPU, right? If you go for 8 disk configuration, so in this 8 GB we have, here also we have, but we are recommending is less compared to this 2. We are going to 2 core and 8 GB RAM and 8 disk. It will support DS2 V3 version. It will going to support. So you can tell them current VM configuration, we don't have feasibility to create other disks. It's exited the current support disks. If you want to, still you want to increase and you want to create that disk for this VM, so you want to need to change the VM size, and that way we can able to increase the supporting disks. So you can able to create additional disks. So this way you have to verify and you have to create and you have to recommend, you have to do the tasks. Okay, and let's go back to this again. You guys are you guys are with me, right? If you have anything, right away you ask me. I will take more examples. Okay.
Bro, one doubt. So actually, while deploying a VM, shall we select any disk provisioning like thin provisioning or thick provisioning like that?
We don't have that options.
Because storage is maintained by them, so they will check whatever they need.
I will tell you that comes as a storage type. Okay, I will tell you when we have an extra option there. I will tell you what is while creating a VM, you have selected right standard HDD.
Yeah.
That is that it's not like a, we can't say that is a thin provision or thick provision, but they are giving a storage, but how much the performance is required for the disk, so that you are going to define that. I will tell you that option, right? Give me 1 minute. Okay.
Okay.
If currently you have any doubts, you let me know, so then I will take you there. Okay, if you're fine, then I'm going to talk about what are the different types of, what are the different storage types. Okay, so now currently this is my storage account. So with this storage account, what are the storage types do you have? Okay, so now I click to the VM, in the data disk, correct? So in this data disk, this is the inside the data disk. Okay, here you can see the configuration of the data disk, and you can see that everything. Okay, now if you go for the, you know, right, what is activity log, what is IAM tags, you know, right? So directly, that's why we have already discussed these previous classes. So that's why I'm directly going for the configuration and settings. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the configuration, like so what is the basic configuration of the disk, you can see here. Okay, and coming to the size, this is very important to the disk. Okay, when you select the size and performance, we have a, here we have a like 3 types. One is storage types, these are okay: premium SSD, standard SSD, standard HDD. These are the 3 storage types. Okay, these are the 3 storage types for the disk. 3 types of 3 storage types in disks. These 3 types comes in where? In the disks only we have this. You should be very specific when you're asking question. So what are the different types of storage types? Okay, you should be in the, when then the question is asking from the VM, or it should be question is asking for the storage accounts. We have other service also, storage accounts, right? So the, you have to make sure that when you any interviewer asking the question, you have to very carefully you have to answer. So you, when you're talking the previous question, maybe be unmanaged or managed disk, and then we asking about the what are the different storage types, then you should be tell this standard HDD, standard SSD, premium SSD. So what are these three different, what is the use of these three? What is going to do for these three? So what are the options do you have when you are selecting the premium SSD, when you are selecting the standard SSD and standard HDD? So we are going to discuss now. So once you come for the size and performance, so by defaultly currently your VM sizes will go from this size, this type only. So currently it's been assigned that standard HDD. Okay, in this standard HDD, if you select, you can see, so already it is there custom sizes already, how the VM sizes are there, right? Same like that, we have custom sizes. It start with 32 GB. Remember, so some guys, stupid guys, you want to be, they want to be trouble you in the interview, they will ask you, do you what is the minimum size it will support for disk? 100% they will ask you. Okay, you want to know that premium disk, it will support up to minimum 4 GB, but you can able to in the standard HDD also you can able to customize, you can define the 4. So normally you can tell them basically it will support from the 4 GB. Okay, so now you can see they have already predefined sizes, and if you don't want to select and you don't want to use a predefined sizes, you can go for the custom disk size in the below. You can define how much size do you want, you can enter here and you can click on resize, you can do. Okay, and one more thing here, let me explain this. So this is comes a standard HDD, right? In this standard HDD, suppose if you take the 32 GB disk, okay, but your storage is only 5 GB you have stored. Okay, so based upon the data stored in this disk, only the cost will get calculated for standard HDD. Okay, but we have a very less throughput and inputs and throughputs, it will be very less for this standard HDD. Okay, we don't have maximum burst IOPS and maximum burst throughput. Okay, so this is called a HDD. The main point is here, if you have choose the size, but even though it's not going to be cost for the entire disk, so what is the size we are going to use in the drive, that size only you are going to pay for that. Okay, and we have very the performance is very low for this disks. This disk only used for the like test and development kind of servers we use for the standard HDD. Because of this is low cost and the performance also it will be low. Okay, so this is called standard HDD. Now we'll go for standard SSD. So here we have a the better performance. Okay, so this comes as a tile E. Okay, so here you can see that it starts with the 4 GB. We have a custom sizes. And here also we have a standard the performance like the provision high ups and throughput, and here we have a maximum burst high ups and throw also. Okay, so this is if you selected as a 8 GB or 1 TB, so it doesn't matter. So in 1 TB you have used only 5 GB or 100 GB, so you have to pay for cost for entire 1 TB. Okay, so here we can use for this, you can use for any like application servers or like a database servers, we can use it when it's not been more critical. Okay, so for this storage type. Okay, here also based upon the requirement, if you want to choose the custom size, you can define the size of your that. Okay, and when you talk about the final one is premium SSD. When you go for the premium SSD, you can see the values, it will be it's more the performance operations, the input IOPS and throughput also it's been more, and coming to this also. And moreover, we have another feature called with the custom size, we have another feature called performance style. So what is mean by performance style here? Suppose how it's going to use this performance style, I will tell you. So now I am using, this is 8 GB and P2 is the my performance style. Okay, so now we can see. So now I want to use with let me go for 16 GB. Okay, and 16 GB how much comes, do you have 16 GB is a P3, so this much maximum high ups and throughput it will come. So now 16 GB I want to select 15 P15. means this is P15 performance type. So with 16 GB, I'm going to get this many IOPS and throughputs. So that customization you can do in the premium SSD. So that way you can able to increase the performance of the that storage account. So currently you are using 250 like 256 GB. Sorry, what is 16 GB, right? We have made the custom size here, and I have selected the again there. That's why it's showing. Okay, 16 GB, and I'm using it. What is the P50 here? You can see performance style is I choose as a P50. If you click here, it will change here storage account also. That's why it was changed here. So now I use 16 GB of storage account, and P15 is the performance type. Okay, then this performance it will be applicable for, but the cost it will based upon this, the IOPS it will applicable for performance type cost only. So that options you have it in the SSD. So what are the size you define and the based upon the performance type, the cost will be calculated accordingly. So this is the different storage types in the disk. One is premium SSD, standard SSD, and standard HD. Okay, now we are fine that, then now my VM is running. Okay, whenever your VM is running, you can't change the VM size for the existing disk. This is very critical, you have to make a note. Okay, so whenever the VM is running, you can't increase the existing disk size. So suppose if you go now, currently you have 2 disks, right, in your virtual machine. Okay, so now these are the 2 disks, right? So either OS disk or data disk. You can't increase from 4 GB to 10 GB or 16 GB. You can't increase for any storage type. It doesn't matter, but you can't increase it. Why? Because until you stop the VM, it won't support that. Okay, so if you want to create a new disk for this VM, you can do it, but when you want to increase the existing disk, it won't support. If you want to try, you can try it. So now this is my disk, right? Let me go for size and performance. And now currently, what is the size? 4 GB. Okay, same. I don't want to change the storage type. I need only 32 GB. Okay, I'm selecting 32 GB. So you see, you can't select also. You can see it's not showing. See 60 GB, but it's not coming here. See, resize option is not coming, it's grayed out. So because of when the VM is running,
VM is running.
Yeah, when VM is running state, your existing disk can't increase. You cannot increase it. Okay, but you can create a new disk. Means you can create a new disk and you can assign the disk to VM, but you can't add it. Show me. Let me show you. If you want to create a new disk, I can create you for another one. Okay. Okay. I'm just saving here. So it will going to create now
But
disk.
they are selecting premium SSD, bro. Storage type.
It's fine now. So if you create now, just showing that how to create. So now it's created.
Okay.
And now it's attaching to the that VM. Okay, so now it's attached. Okay, so now as you said, now this is premium. So here if we have a number of disks, it's not uniformly you have to define the storage type. Each disk should be any type storage type, it will support. Okay, data disk 0 is now standard HDD, and the data disk 1 is now premium disk, and one more disk you have created. If with the standard SSD also, it will support. It doesn't matter, based upon the disk, this one you can see, right, throughputs it will get changed here. Okay, that is the only difference.
Okay, on this scenario, we need to take downtime, right? We need to increase the. We need to stop it.
Yeah, when you want to increase the
On this scenario, we need to take downtime, right?
Yeah, we need, that's why I'm telling you. If you want to change the existing while VM is running, you can't increase, right? So you require a downtime. So let me go and stop it.
Yes. Okay.
Bro?
Yes, bro.
Yeah.
Hello.
OS disk size is different from OS version to OS version, or 127 is standard for all OS in Azure
Because
portal.
for all the OS, it's been 127 GB.
Okay.
It's taking long. You can see when you're stopping, it will show you the deallocated. Once it's been stopped completely, you can see the stop and deallocated state. The VM state will get varied. Oh no, it's taking time. I mean, it don't take much time actually.
Only this mission taking long, bro, or any sir?
But it won't take that much anymore. It will take 1 or 2 minutes. Maybe sometimes it will take actually, but not all the time. Solution,
On disk level option, we have one option is there, but that is swap positive.
Mm-hmm.
Can you use that? On disk, under disk.
Mm-hmm. Swap was this. I will tell you later, not now.
Okay.
But once you know the what is the disk options, then only we are going to discuss this stuff.
Mm.
When we record also, when we talk about the backups, right? That time only we can explain this option. It will be
Okay.
that time.
Mm.
When the VM crashes, when the VM asks you to reboot, so what level of restoration you required, so that method we can, while restoring, we can do the some swapping OS disks. So that time we can use that. Won't tell me, I will tell you that what is the you can do. OS swap OS disk in the sense you can swap them using that from one disk to one disk you can able to swap. But the from which disk we are going to swap, that particular disk should not be attached for any VM. So once that is met for the prerequisite, then you can able to move swap the disk from one for this VM. So that which disk you are going to swap, that disk will replace from this disk. Okay. The prerequisite is that disk should not be attached from any VM. So suppose another VM you have some VHD file or one OS disk you have it. Okay, so that you want to replace with this VM. Okay, then you can swap and you can browse that disk and you can keep it. So that disk will replace for this disk and this disk will remove from this VM. Okay, that when you the VM should be in stop state. Once VM is in stop state, you can able to swap. Even without VM stopping also you can do that, but it will take long time and it will maybe you'll get some kind of errors or warnings. Better we can stop that completely. We can stop that VM. And what is your plan to which VM disk you want to replace with this? You can go for the swap OS disk, and while clicking this, it will ask you that option. Then you can do it. Why this is taking long?
So this OS level that we need to power is that is.
Yeah, once power off, that is the one you have to power it off. Once you power off, then you can swap it. Then you can, once the VM swap is done, VM swap it will hardly, it will take 5 to 10 seconds. Once you do the swapping, then you can go and power on that VM. It will take some time to boot with the new attached disk, and then you can able to log in with the existing the VM. What are the disk you have swapped.
Okay.
Why this VM is taking too long? Man? Wasting the time. So let me explain clearly the VM size. So I don't want to be in between. I have to tell. That's why I'm waiting. Yeah, it stopped. Okay, now you can see, right? It isn't stopped. So now we can refresh it. It will show you stopped and deallocated. Yep, you can see, right? Start and the VM state is changed to stopped and deallocated. Okay, so now the VM is completely stopped. Now we go for the disks and click on the data disk, and you can go for the size and performance. And now see, the resize option is enabled now. Okay, it removed. Now click on 32 GB. Okay, 32 GB, and click on the resize. Okay, it will upgrade to 32. See, now it's updated successfully, done. And go back and refresh here and see, now it's been 32 GB. Okay, and now go and power on that VM. And once power on, you can able to, once it's running state, then you can go and log into that VM, and you can see that the space is unallocated for that that logical drive disk. Then you can go and extend the volume, which are the spaces unallocated. That space you can add it to the existing disk. See, now VM is started successfully. I think the agent is not showing something. Actually, before it, this issues is not there. Actually, once VM start or stop, it's not coming this way. Some nearly 1 month I see that this, when you start or start, right, the way VM agent is not responding that much fast. Actually, it's showing not ready. If it is ready, then the VM can able to take the DPT work properly. Now I'm able to log in the VM, and let me go for this volumes, the drives to see. Now you can see, right? Only 4 GB still, but we have extended to 32 GB, right? Hello.
Yes, yes, bro.
Yes, bro. Yeah, yeah.
So,
We can extend from this.
yeah. So how you are going to extend it?
Can extend from this as well.
We have another disk we have created, right? So that disk, 10 GB you have created, no? That is a third disk actually. Now we can see we have 10 GB disk one which you have created newly, and we have extended, right, 32 GB. So already 4 GB is there, and 28 GB is showing as unallocated. So what you are going to do? You are going to extend the volume, and it's going to uh, increase it, extend it. So this way it's making to 32 GB. Okay, this way you can go and refresh here. Now you can see you have a 32 GB of left drive. So this way you can able to increase the existing disk, and this way you are going to create a adding a new disk for this VM. You got it right? So we have done
Yes.
increasing the existing disk and create a new disk for this VM. So both we have done it. Okay, this way you can do from the disk, increasing, adding a new disk. So do you have any doubts from the disk? This is what the disk. Okay, we have so many things in the disk. You should be remember. Okay. was pinging. Okay. So, so now we are going to, if you have any questions, if you have any Suman or Chandra, guy, let me know if you still have any doubts. Okay, we don't need to hurry, but I want you to same where you want to be also same information. That's why I want to going very slow. Okay. So you have tell me, I will take one more example, but don't take simply and know it. Okay. Everyone
Yeah.
good, or do you want me to take anything? I'm good to take any other example also. Okay. The voice swapping we can talk later when we're talking about the backups. So when the restore VMs, that time
Okay.
we can use this option. So that's why I'm not going to tell now. What is the swap message? We are replacing with the existing OS disk so that we can do from one disk to one disk. That is called as swap OS disk. Okay. Now we are going for the size. So what is the VM size? So already we talked few options about the disk support and maximum CPU RAM. So as we discussed in the previous, we have number of VM series, the families. So D series, B series, F series, E series, and H series. We have other series. So based upon that, we have a memory optimized and the core uh, kind of sizes and general purpose VM sizes. We have that. So there we have already predefined VM sizes. So now suppose we have a DS1-V2. So for this will come as a 1 core and 3.5 GB memory, and it will support maximum 4 disks. And this is the maximum high ups for this disk. Okay. Same like that we have other options. So which we discussed about the temporary storage, and this VM will support the premium disk or not. Suppose in the disks, if the VM size, some VM sizes, it won't support for the premium support. Okay. If you try to change the storage type as a premium for that unsupported sizes, it won't support that. Okay. So if it's not supporting, you have to make sure that VM size is support for that premium disk or not. Okay. And here is the cost of this monthly of that specific VM sizes. Okay. So this way we can have multiple sizes. You can see here D series, E series, F series. So based upon the this is test account, right? So we have a limited sizes is available based upon the region which we have, what region we have choose, right? So India South for this region. So with this series we have limited sizes. If you go for East US or something, you can see lot number of the VM size families. Okay. So this way you can see this is a memory optimized and this is a general purpose. This is a compute optimized, means the core we have number of custom options. So that way we have a different types of VM sizes. Okay, you can see the sizes it will support and CPU cores. So this way it will come as a sizes. Suppose now the main, these are the information about the sizes. Now currently my VM is in B1s. Now my this is when the VM is built, that time my VM choose that it's enough for the capacity of CPU and like CPU and memory, the sizes which we have defined. Now after 1 month, the user utilization has been increased, so it's not been enough for me the current configuration. User is requesting you to resize to the B2MS like our DS1 V2. Okay. So for this, how we are going to do is, while clicking this, you can just click on resize. Okay. Without powering off also, we can do that VM resize, but we could have some challenges like VM resize is fail, or the VM the RDP lost because of the VM state here. If you go here, the VM state is here running, right? This state will change for to failed state. So these are the errors. Our VM agent is not responding properly. So these are the errors we normally we choose when we have a VM resize. Okay. So that's why we recommend to go and stop the VM and resize. If you without stopping also you can do it. Why I want to stop and why if you I can do it, you can do it. But as a as we experience, we can see that errors. Okay, that VM state fail state or VM resizing fail or RDP issue, the agent is not responding, it's not been, so that's why you are unable to take the RDP. So these are the issues, okay? Otherwise, you are not able to start and you are not able to stop the VM. So that VM is been in provision state, fail state. These are the issues will normally will come and causes the issues for that. So that's why we strongly recommend, based upon our experiences, we go and stop the VM and do it. Otherwise, you can do it, but maybe if not all the cases, we see that kind of errors or issues, but it will normally we will get that kind of issues. To avoid us, we don't know, right, which VM will come a error to stop it, right? So normally we better we go and stop. Anyhow, we are doing the VM resizes in the downtime window. So go and stop and do the resize. So currently I want to resize this VM. The VM is currently is running state, correct? So let me go in the size, and currently this is the running VM size. Now I want to change this. If I click it, it will resize. Okay, I'm going to change it without stopping that. It will happen, but in future, we don't know what machine is going to be having issues. So we are not going to in the business when we are supporting the customer. We are not going to play with them, right? So it should be very proper the way you have to do it. Okay. We can see that the VM resize. So resizing from current B1S to DS1V2. Okay, it is resizing that. So now you can see the VM resized to standard DS1V2 version. Okay, now you can go and see the VM size. Now currently it is showing B1S only, right? It's a 1 CPU, 1 core. Let me refresh it. Now you see DS1 version V2, 1 CPU, and it's showing like, sorry, 1.1 GB memory only. 3 point something, right? There's some memory. Oh, 1 minute. It's showing still 1 GB memory. Oh, see, it's reflected now. Okay. So you see, right now 1 CPU and 3 G memory. So this way you can able to resize. Now currently the VM is running. Okay. So my VM is disconnected. That because of the VM we are doing, it will require a downtime, right? It will reboot it. Okay. If you're not stopped also, and change the configuration. So without stopping you want to do, but the downtime is required. Without stopping also you can do, but there is a chances to issues comes. So that's why I recommend you to make them stop that VM and do the reset and power it on and go on log into the VM and check the what is the expected service, everything is running or not. If everything is running, then you can confirm that who is requested to as per the request that the VM resize activity is completed. Now it's reflecting the new configuration of CPU and memory. You can verify from the application side and confirm if you have any challenges. Okay. Guys, you're not speaking. Yes.
Yes, bro.
Yes, bro.
Sorry.
Bro, yeah. Bro, here my dot is. Can you go to size?
Okay.
So now we have changed from B1S to DS1V2.
Yes.
Okay, that is fine. You are changing the CPU memory. But if I downgrade from DS1V2 B1S, here they have 4 disks. Here we have 2 disks. The remain 2 disks will delete, right, automatically?
No, it won't delete. It won't support the VM size.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
So you can't resize with the. You have already created a maximum sizes with 4. You can't change it to B1 series.
I mean, we can't come down to say size. We can extend the size. That's it.
VM size, but you have a currently see when you have a B1S, you have a 2 disks. Okay. Now you have upgraded to this size. Now you have currently 4 disks. Okay. You have already 4 disks, and you try to downgrade with the unsupported size. This is unsupported size. Right? So you can't degrade it. So the disks are as already it's a 4 disks, but this VM size will support only for 2 disks. Able to upgrade with the another series like the D2S V3 2 core and this, and it will 4 disk it will support. You can increase other series, but while degrading it, it should be the same kind of like there is a 2 disk of this when you are using this size, you have a 2 disk, then it will support for this size.
So in that case, we can change from DSVNV to DS to V3, right?
So you can change it to DS to V3 because of here you want to increase the RAM with the same disk, you can do with the other size. But you are the disk size, if you have currently 4 disks and you are going to this 4 disk is not going to support this size. So how you are going to the disk will going to last, right? So how
Yeah.
are you going to do that? That it's not possible.
If we want to delete those 2 disks, then we can do it, right?
Then you can reset.
Okay.
Before
Got it.
you have to delete, then you can do it.
Mm.
Any other guys? If you have to speak more, okay. Once I explain, then you have to ask questions. Then only you can get more answers.
Actually, before you told, but I'm having
Yeah.
still some confusion.
Which one?
Okay. According to the size, 2 disk, if the 2 disk VM support, in the 2 disk, each disk will support 32 GB maximum. Each
32
disk.
TB, 32 TB.
32 DB maximum, TB maximum.
Wait. If you go for the disk, okay,
Mm.
and you go for the size and performance,
Mm.
you can see here.
So
You can select,
each disk can support 32 TB.
this is 32 TB. See,
Oh my God. Okay.
1, 2,
Okay.
3, 4, 5, right?
Yeah, that is 32 TB.
Counts as a megabytes and it's in GB type,
Mm.
means you can see.
Mm.
32 TB.
Okay. Okay.
If you stop state, you could able to research that.
Mm.
Each drive it will support, mention each disk it will support maximum 32, maximum 32.
Yeah.
Okay, but number of disk based upon the VM size, how many disks
Mm.
for that VM. Okay,
Okay.
and this is called the size actually. And if you have a same disk, then again you can roll back to this also. Again, if you click yes, it will get rolled back immediately.
And bro, I remember that while creating a VM, we will select a type of storage account, right? A premium SSD, standard SSD, standard HDD.
Yes.
If we select, for suppose, if we select while creating VM standard HDD, after some days we want to create a disk in premium SSD, if we can do it in VM.
You can do it. It's not. It's independent. I told you, no.
Okay.
Any disk, if you want to in a different storage type, you can able to do it. Or not
Okay.
do it. If you want to change the existing disk also, you can able to change it. That's what I told you. If you go for disk, right? This is the OS disk. Okay, you're talking about the OS disk. Okay, I'm just giving example. If you go for here, size performance, you can see here. You can select this. Now, currently, what is my standard SSD? Is my current configuration, right? So, if you change this to a standard SSD, I can able to change. But you want to,
OS.
you want to be stop that way. It is the option. You can able to change it. After provisioning VM, you can able to change. But if you want to go for the disk configuration, you want to change it, then that also existing disk you want to configuration, you want to change it, then VM has to be down. Okay. If you want to change, you want to create a new VM with a different storage type, then you can able to do it.
Okay.
Okay. This is what size, guys. Everyone has to be synced with me. Only 1 or 2 guys only speaking. Then you guys understanding or not? I don't have any idea.
Yeah, bro, understood.
So next, if you are good, then this is the security. Means, so normally we have a how we have an on-prem or we have a organization. We are maintaining the security. Do you know, right? We have a team called security are applying the policies to restrict the internet or to restrict the kind of giving the policies to block this kind of ports, kind of things they are restricting. Do you remember? If they are anything attacks, they are using the policy based, they are monitoring. If you have anything comes vulnerabilities, they are going to get the alerts and they are giving the vulnerability reports to OS level team or network level team. They have to resolve the to make that compliance all the vulnerabilities.
Yes.
That is correct, right? So that way, the same way we have a in the Azure also we have a security center. Okay. that security center will evaluate all your resources, and it will tell you the what is the current risk security alert as a security alert in here. And if there's any recommendation to be implemented to like make secure of resources, you can see this. Okay, here you can see this. So currently from the security center we don't have any recommendations here. So this way you can see, but normally that is a one service. Actually security center is a service, so there you can able to monitor all the resources. Security center, center, security only. Security center will call it as. I don't know. It's showing only security. These people before it was their security center actually. I'm just checking for that. So here, oh, okay. In the security we have that option. You can see in the security center. So here it will show you that all the recommendations. Okay. All identity access management, everything it will show you here in the security center. All the recommendations. So if you are using this kind of service, then you can identify all your the security score you can able to see, and if you have anything issues, so that you can get the alerts. Okay, you can able to. Currently we don't have any services, right? We have only 2 or 3 services. That's why we are not seeing any here. It's been reporting to the by default. It will get reported to the security center. Now we're using based on the cloud center actually. So this security center also is very like it's completely in different uh, kind. But coming to the cloud, there won't be any segregation. It comes as a cloud is a cloud for all the members actually. Now they are enhanced that they enable that Microsoft Defender for cloud. So if you have using the cloud Defender has been trying to using for all the Windows, sorry, not the Windows services, you can able to manage that actually. So now VMs we don't have in the service level. What PaaS databases or some services we can enable the Windows Defender for the PaaS services. So that service is going to like protect your PaaS services, and we can able to manage that from if our end we can able to enable and we can control that. So PaaS services managing by Microsoft, right? So that kind of things we can able to do here. So I'm explaining here. So security in the,
Okay.
they are going to give the recommendations where it will be where our resource is, how your security is been applicable, and currently where your resource is risky or it's not. So that way you can identify, you can do the recommendation for that resources. So that way it will be help for the security tab. Okay.
So the securities, vulnerabilities and all, we have to take care. Security team is available.
See, normally in the this it will be in, if you have that is based upon depends on the organizations. Okay, so if you have a separate security team and separate network team and separate like database team, so we have that kind of culture we have in the then it will be another team. Okay, when you can say as a cloud admin, then most cases as a Azure admin you should be know something, and we can do
Okay. Mm-hmm.
when you see the recommendation, right, they will give you there only what is has to be how to do that. The recommendations they will give. So it's not a big deal actually. So we can do, but you have to know that. So what is the security and security you want to know what is the recommended, what is happening, that you should be understandable there. They'll give the description what is this vulnerability going to impacting and what how to going to impact this and how to going to implement this to be protect your resource, that will come as this all. Okay, it's not like you are going to Google it and find the resolution and going to, okay.
Everything available here only.
Yeah.
Okay. If I find one vulnerability need to be updated, I can proactively reach the owner and we can explain same thing and get downtime and do it, or how it is.
So there is this vulnerabilities comes as a different categories.
Okay.
If you're talking about the OS level, then comes.
OS level only.
Okay. You talked about from the security from the resource, the encryption to be enabled to secure, the backup has to be enabled. So those also calls your recommendations. Okay. If something you allow the public IP, so that comes as a security alert. If you have created a NSG level, you have created a any to any, means infinity to any port is been allowed. So that kind of things is a recommendation security alerts comes. So few things you can able to take without downtime. Few things comes without like configuration, just to be change the options. So we no need to any business impact, that no need to get the downtime. But few things depends upon the impacting the services. So we have to go the service owner, we have to talk them. But anything you are when you are doing from the respect to customer thing, then we have to just, if it's not impact, we have to notify them. Okay.
Okay.
It's not only for the VM level, it's going to give the entire your Azure resources, this recommendations. But now currently, which you are saying is only for the specific VM. Okay. So this way, if you go for the each VM, you can able to see this recommendations from the security tab. Okay, that is called a secret. So normally we won't come much. Normally we will follow the standards, right? That organization standard. So we have that implementation, it will be in that. So when we are implementing newly, right, that time only we have challenges. Like the policies, we have security team also. When you have a own security team, they will define some kind of security policies to restrict, and they are controlled by them. So that way you can able to control the non-compliance issues. So that time you won't see in the security center most of the cases. So that based upon that organizations, how they are behaving it, how they are using and utilizing the services. They are using any the OS level, they can use the separate antivirus, correct, and they are not using the Windows Defender, or you can use both Windows Defender for cloud resources and OS level as well. So that comes as a different scenarios based on
Okay.
the organizations. Not I can't tell you in this way only it will be there, because of if previous organization, when I have bugged in multiple, so in the previous organization we won't see at all in the security center. So currently we will do some kind of checks and we will control it. Okay. In some projects we have to manage security center also. So we are going to suppose the storage account been allowed for publicly. So that is not recommended as per the security level. Okay. So we have to create the private endpoint. We restricted the make them and that storage account to allow only private connections. So that kind of things it will come. Like it's not been if your organization it's been allowing the applications required to be access the storage accounts or VMs or everything to be over the internet, then there is a company is looking for that. Maybe they're taking the risky chances. So that time you can't going to do anything, right? So that is not the but you know, right, it's been complaints, it should be non-compliance, you should be make the complaints. That comes as a risky of the resources and company.
Okay.
Okay. And another option is advisor. Do you remember the first day I told you the Azure advisory? Maybe you guys.
Yeah.
So there it will give the some security, cost and recommendations to find to the performance and the cost perspective and security. So these three things it will going to give the recommendations. Okay. Now you can see here. This is this advisory is giving some information to me. Medium, this is medium one recommendation by impacting. Okay, so it is asking upgrade the standard disk to your premium capability, capable VM premium. So it is asking to better performance, so you can use the premium disk. So I know that I don't want, this is a development VM, this is a test VM, I know I don't need a premium disk, so I can ignore this. You got it?
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so which like you want to take it is a security also. If you know only you are doing it, that is allowing some kind of connection, that shows as a non-complex, then you have to ignore that because of you only you doing it. So same thing if is a test VM, this is a recommendations by Azure advisory. So this way, if something it's not in my thing which I have not done and it's been identified by advisory, so then I will take it and I will fix that way. Okay, if maybe this is recommended me, suppose what kind of normally we'll get recommendations in the sense like suppose the VM is not at all, you are not at all logging and not at all using it, and it's been from quite long. Okay, at that time if we that VM it will suggest here your VM is not at all utilizing, and it will calculate it based upon the conditions. Okay, there are conditions called it below 5% or 10% of utilization of the VMs. So that kind of basis it will tell you. So this VM is under 5% of utilization, below 0 or 5%. So we recommend you to, if you, this is the behavior, if you're not using, we request to as part of cost saving, you try to stop that VM so that way you can reduce the cost for that resource. So that is kind of recommendations we can see in the high impact. Okay, and something maybe your VM is below 30% or 40%. So this currently you are using the VM size is very high, so that is not the recommended. So they will only will give that advisor only will give you that recommended VM size. Okay, you go and use this recommended VM size so to reduce the as part of cost saving. So that way we can see some kind of recommendations. Okay, these are the examples I'm just trying to explain you to understand. Okay, so these
Okay.
things it will come as a from Azure advisory kind of things. And it is not only same thing like security also. There is a or performance tuning also it will come. So your VM is utilizing maximum 99%, 90% above it's performing, and currently you are using this load, and this is the configuration. So you want to get better performance, you go with the configuration and this kind of disk configuration, so you can achieve for the best performance. So that way it has been both the ways. It's been when you have a high performance and you are having challenges, that time also it will recommend, and low size also you part of cost saving. It will be both ways, it will be recommended as a Azure advisor. This is called service. Can you recommend that for the taking that decision from you? Okay, this is Azure is going to be recommend you the based upon the service and their data which the Azure advisory is calculating that data based upon that data. Okay.
Okay. If I feel any advisor is good for me, before doing that, I have to check with SME once. Okay.
So that see first whatever you do first that is your observation. Okay, so once you observe that, we have to send an email for internal team or you can discuss it. Okay, so this is what I observed. Maybe 10 VMs or 80 VMs or 20 VMs having this is the behavior. So if we are not utilizing these VMs from past 10 1 month or 1 week or 20 days, so there is no use of we are using the same kind of configuration. So why we can't reduce the size to cost the save? So if when we are using a high kind of configuration, we have to pay for more cost to the Microsoft, right? So to avoid that, why you can't when you are not utilizing, why you can't degrade the VM size and to reduce the cost for the Microsoft? Okay.
Okay.
So that way you can recommend that. So once we confirm that it internally, like how I don't know, right, how you structure. So in my opinion, I will take my decisions. Okay. So that way, if you are the some kind of architect or SME, so you can take, okay, you can take it or you can check with your DM or something. So this is my proposition plan to propose to the customer. So if you are fine or you want me to change the presentation to them, I will do that, and I'm going to send this, and I'm going post approval. I'm going to implement this way. So that way you can propose the things to can implement. Okay, not only you are going to do the day-to-day activities like VM resizing, disk cleanup, and disk. It is not like that. Okay, we have so many things like not with the BAU support and where you can improve. That comes as a your SME, or when you have a more knowledge, you can protect. You can you can automatically you can be productive upfront of the customer where you can quality.
Okay.
When you are giving these things, then only you will be recognizing as a team or from the customer also. You are going to, if request is coming and you are doing, you are going, then anyone can do. If you use the same kind of what I'm giving the training, right? If you give a intermediate guy also can do in after 1 month, correct?
Yeah.
Daily doing activities anyone can do. So every day you have to enhance the things, how it's going to be happening. You have to assist that. Okay. Then you have to do that. So many things. If you come after course also, you can, so many things will come here and there in the activities or doing some kind of things. You have to learn and you have to enhance the things and you have to do it. Okay. Now suppose I'm giving example. Suppose now currently you know that if a disk is increase or change the storage type or add a new disk, change the performance type, you can able to change it or swap the voice disk. Okay, these are things you can currently you can able to do. Suppose someone is ask you, I need this disk to move from one storage account. How you can do? Maybe I'm giving the options. Okay, if you're asking, so that how, what is the feasible options, how that comes, and you can tell. If it doesn't, you're not looking and you're enhancing the things, you can say, I don't know, I didn't see any options here. So that way you have to be every day, you should be knowing multiple options. It's not like once you're done, it's not going to be any for the your Azure. Okay, every day you have to learn some things. So we have multiple options for this also. Okay.
Okay.
So that way, I'm telling, when you're telling no, like if you want to work like a BAU operation, then it's a different case. When you're working with the SME and architect, then it will be a different case. So based upon your the working behavior, it will change your working style.
Okay.
Okay. And but I am telling all the things up to L3 level. I'm telling all the things. Okay.
Mm.
So when coming to the extension, see, I'm explaining you each and every option. Okay, guys, you have to verify this. Okay. Now here you can see, here we have a extensions and applications. Suppose if you want to install any extensions, okay, so you can able to install that extensions. Like you want to be install the Datadog agent or application insight or monitoring tool you want to install. So these are the predefined. Datadog is a monitoring tool. Or you want to be Dynatrace, you want to install. So there's some kind of monitoring agents. They need some application team, or you want to do some custom monitoring has to be added. So those kind of things you want to install. So you can do that and you can click on that, then you can able to install that directly. You can able to use that as an extension. You can able to install that extension for this VM. So once you do that, you can able to see that. So normally it won't support all the VMs in the all the extensions. Okay, so based upon that, so you have to, what is the requirement and what is the which extensions is required. So based upon that, we can able to do that. Okay. So this comes one of the option, you can able to install that in the console itself. If you want anything monitoring agent, you want to deploy the virtual machines. Same like that, any VM applications also. If you have any available for the applications, and you can do that for related for you. So you can search that in the gallery. So this option is also came in new actually. I'm newly in the sense how it came in the preview and it came right like that, it came new. If you have any it was displaying from the gallery, you can able to show. So I think this VM is not being supporting this application because of we have a limited configuration for this, right? And the VM size, based upon the VM size, it will be support some features. Okay. So that way, these extensions and plus application, that is the one. Okay. And we have a continuous delivery. This is not way, it's not important actually. This is just for using for currently as our training. This is not, this comes as a making that any frequent task you want to perform. So using this Azure DevOps pipelines or some using this application, you can make them configure to reoccurring that kind of deployments or task can be implemented. So I'm just saying what is that option. Okay, currently. So we are not as a infrastructure as a service and platform as a service. basics, we are not going to use this option, but we have that we can able to do in the, for the virtual machines also, we can use this continuous delivery using Azure DevOps simplification using pipelines. Okay, the Azure pipelines comes CI/CDs and containers that comes, it will be in DevOps stuff actually. It's not Azure admin stuff. Okay. So here, current stage, you don't need this. Maybe in upgrading you as architect that time, maybe you have to know more about this. Okay. And here this is called as a availability and scaling. So once the VM is created, we discussed the options, high availability, right? Availability state, standalone, availability zone. So options we have discussed, right? So once the VM is provisioned in availability set, you can able to see the fault domain and update domain, what is availability set, and if the VM is in availability scale set, you can able to see the options here. If it is now currently the VM is a standalone VM, right? So that's why you can see the dash here, nothing is there. Okay. If the VM is created in the available set, then you can see the what is the available set configuration. So what is the value you choose for the fault domain and update domain, and what is the available set name, you can see here. So how you can find here, maybe they can ask you maybe in the future when you are checking that. So there is a request came to, they are asking, maybe they would have sent an email, okay, or your manager could have asked you, can you please check this VM, this VM is part of available set or not. So how you are going to check that VM? So you have to go for that VM, select here available set and not available set plus scaling. There you can see it is available set or not. You can able to figure it out that it's been available set or not. And even though you can able to go for the overview also, it will show in the properties here, where it will show here also. Yeah, here also it will show. Okay, availability zone or availability set. Okay, sorry, scalable set. That option will show here. Okay.
Okay, bro. So while creating VM, we will set availability set our zone. After creating, now we can't set it to availability set our zone now.
No, once you
Okay.
create the virtual machine, you can't add this VM into the available set or availability zone. If you
So should
want to, the current VM you want to keep in available set or availability zone, then you want to create you have to recreate this VM into again. While creating a VM, you have to choose the available set and availability option. Then only you can create that VM in the available set or available zone option.
okay.
Otherwise, you can't add the VM into the existing available set. Okay.
Okay.
Because of if you adding while creating VM only, the copies will create in the different reasons or the based on availability options we are choosing. Okay, that way it will create at that time copy. You already created VM. If you can't add to create multiple copies in the like have available set option or available zone option, the copies it won't allow you to create. So that's why
Okay.
we will support that. After creating VM, you can't add available set option. Okay. And this is the one, the configuration. And one more point I have to tell here, I forgot you. Very important this is, okay. Now currently I've been giving the scenario as well. So currently I have a 3 VMs, okay. This is not only for availability set, I'm telling this option, it just comes as a VM resize activities, it will come, okay. It will be dependent with the 2 options. So currently I have a 3 VMs, okay. Listen carefully. I have a 3 VMs. All 3 VMs are in the availability set. All 3 VMs are in the same availability set. Okay. There is we can create multiple VMs in available set. Okay. So my 3 VMs are in the availability set, same availability set. That 3 VMs user has requested to VM resize. Okay. User is requested to VM resize. Okay. If you resize the virtual machines when the VMs are in available set, if you resize the virtual machine any one VM out of 3, if you resize only one VM, and if you are not resize another VMs, so you will get the RDP issue failures. Means So when the VMs are in available state, the VM should be in the same configurations for all the VMs. So when maybe user requested to resize the one VM, so you have to make sure that you have to check that this option also, make sure that, okay, this option also you have to check this VM is available state or not. Once you are confirming him user, you have to verify, you tell him, so this VM is in available state. This available contains these three VMs. If you want to resize the VM of this particular VM, then you have to resize for all these three VMs. Then only it will work. Otherwise, it will come in issues. So RDPs will get failed for the other VMs. How it will fail in the sense, the VM state, it will change it to failed state. Okay. So that's why. So then again, what we have to do, if that if by mistakenly, if you done it, how we are going to fix that issue? So now currently user is asked you have to resize one VM and two VMs, so you are not able to RDP. Okay. Now how you want to fix that? If this case, you have to bring down all the VMs, you have to stop all the VMs, and again you have to start all the VMs one by one. Then only you can fix that issue. Okay. So to avoid this, instead of resizing in all the VMs, and you are making one mistake, and we need to complete down for entire application for all these three VMs. So going forward, make sure that, so whenever you see that VM resize, so we have to verify that this VM is in available state or not also. Okay. So if you do that, the VM, other VM state will fail state. The VM state is it will fail automatically. Then VM it won't allow you to RDP because of the VMs are in the available state. That is a misconfiguration. Okay. So that is the one in the available set and VM resize combination. Okay. We have to, this comes in real time. We have to very make sure that it should be very reached. Okay.
The copied VMs available where? I mean, one virgin VM available visible for us. Remaining two VMs visible for us only.
What we discussed in the high availability, no, you doesn't have any visibility in the back.
Then how to increase them?
Backend they are managing it. You can't see that copies, but they are giving, when you're choosing the high availability or high availability zone, they are giving that 99.99 SLA means they are maintaining, how they are maintaining a cluster based high availability or how they are maintaining copies, we don't know. But if any one VM goes down in the backend, but our VM will be, means that one server goes down in the backend, so our VM will be up and running. So backend we don't know whatever is going down there, the hardware failure or network failure, because of our copies is in different locations, either hardware in hardware locations or in the region, based upon the data centers or regions, based upon the option which you choose the high availability. So that way we have a same VM copies in the different location. If one location or one server, physical server goes down, the VM will be up and running from another. So that way you can't see the down that time. That is the reason we are choosing the high availability options here.
So I'm saying that we have to change size for three VMs, right? You told that.
No. See, when I'm changing, only the VMs are in the available state. So when, suppose now you created a one, no, let me explain. You are confusing two options actually. I got it. So now currently, so we have two cases here. Okay. One is, so this is, let me take some of this. Okay. So these two VMs are in available state. Okay. This VM, single VM also in available state. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now your user is asking you to change to this VM is asking to VM resize. Okay, you can stay, if you, that case, you, if you can verify it, you can see that this is only one VM in available state, and this one VM also in the back end, MS Microsoft, this VM have 3 copies. If you choose a available set, then in the same data center, we have a 3 copies, and we don't know which hardware they have maintaining these 3 copies. Okay. Here also each VM have a 3 copies. Okay. So the VM copies is different when you're choosing the available set. Here also 3 copies, this VM also 3 copies, this VM also 3 copies. This is only high availability option when choosing the available set. Now the one more scenario, when we have a using available set, in the available set also you have a 2. This is for our managing in the available set 2 VMs. In the back end, each VM they are managed. This is managed by Microsoft. 3 copies. In we are just keeping the based upon the high availability within the suppose why you are keeping this availability this VMs in the sense. So maybe you are using that available set VMs in the when we have a VMs are in available set, then only you can add into the load balancer. Okay. If you want to add multiple VMs, individual standalone VMs, you can't able to add into the load balancer. Okay. When you have the VMs are in the group in the available set, then only you can add into the load balancer. Okay. So that phase maybe I didn't tell you in that level. Okay. Currently I'm telling when I have a this is my availability set. In this available set, I have a 2 VMs in the available set. But this is I have created available set for each VM has 3 copies. This 3 copies is having Microsoft, but in the same group I'm keeping 2 VMs. Maybe I think okay, this is available set I created. For this available set, how many VMs are there? All the VMs have a 3 copies. That is managed by Microsoft. So now currently I have a two VMs, and I have created another VM. While building it, I'm created 2. And next, while creating another VM, I have created in the same available set. This available set name I'm used. Okay, this is available set name is a 2. Okay, this name while creating this VM also I selected available set. So now my available set I have a 3 VMs. 3 VMs have a 3 copies. That is managed by Microsoft. And here I created, I keeping as a group of these 3 missions in single available set. So I can enable these 3 VMs into the load balancer also. And why I have said one more case I tell you is suppose now currently I have these 3 VMs in available set, right? Suppose any user requested to resize this VM, he didn't ask you these 2 VMs to resize. Okay, he is asking you to resize this. So this VM have a 3 copies, correct? So here it will change. When the VMs are available set, this VMs also should be in when all the VMs in the available set. What is this VM configuration? Same configuration should be allow this also. Should be done the same VM configuration for other VMs also. That is what I'm telling. I'm not talking about this VMs. I'm talking about this VM sizes you have to change. I'm not talking about this VMs. These VMs I don't need to worry that we're going to worry about the Microsoft. Even you change the VM size here, still you have a 3 copies here. Still you have a 3 copies here. But 3 copies, but VM you are not able to take RDP because of when your VMs are in available set, it should be the same configuration of the VM sizes. Then only the VMs won't be issues. If you have a misconfiguration, then you will arise the VM RDP issues, the VM agent failure issues, it will come. So you can't take the RDP. So that's why I recommend when the VM size, no, not the recommend this, it's been issues. Okay. So whenever you have a VMs in the group of VMs in the available set, all VMs should be in the same configuration. It should not be different. If some maybe user is asking you to change this, you have to verify this VM is in available set or not. If it is there, yes, this is the only single VM like this, or if you have any other VMs. If you have any other VMs, then you have to go and inform that who has requested, boss, this VM is in available set with these 2 VMs. When you want to change this, we have to change for this VM sizes also. You are not, I'm not telling you this here. Okay, I'm not going to tell here. I'm not going to tell here. I'm changing only for my display VMs in the Azure. Here display VM this. For this VM have another copies in the backend that if you change, I'm not going to worry about in the backend of Microsoft. I'm going to worrying about here. I have a multiple VMs in the same available set. When you are changing this, you have to change this also. If you not change, then you have issues comes. This is as a proactive. You have to as a pre checks when VM resize comes. We have to verify this option also. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, I mean these 2 VMs are available, right, in our portal. These 2 VMs, yeah, the VM.
No, this is VMs only. Means VMs in the sense currently how you have a single VM, right? Like
Yeah.
three VMs you are keeping in a single available set. This is our VMs.
Yeah.
See now
So they are available for us.
yeah, this
Okay.
is all available for us only. And that's what I'm
Hmm.
telling you. We are creating a three VMs in the same available set.
Naming convention also same for that.
No, host names will be different. The VM names will be different.
Okay.
The
Okay.
group will be same. Availability set group name is same. Means this service name, what are the name you are going to define this available set name? Let's
Okay.
go here available set. Okay. So now this is availability is one service. Okay. Now you are going to create a one availability set. Okay. Let me create it. I will explain. I will demo AV. I'm saying demo AV means availability set. Okay. I'm giving here. I'm giving. I told you right. Combination of fault domain update domain is called a availability.
Availability set.
So here you are going to define it 3 or 4. So based upon that, you can change this. Or if you want to change this up to maximum, so this is the update domains it will support. Okay. Fault domains it will support, maximum it's supporting 2 current. Okay. So if you want to change, try to change 3, it will support. So it will maximum support, fault domain is 2. So we have update domains is 20. So like this you can change. Okay. Now currently I'm giving 3. Okay. You can give a 3 or 2 or you can give it. Okay. Now I'm using the yes main is aligned. I'm going for this and I don't want this and I'm going to validate and create it. So now you have created a available set. So now this is called a availability set. So now what are the VMs inside this? Now you see this is the VMs. You don't have any VMs here. If you while creating a VM, if you choose this available set, then which are the VMs in the so suppose now you are creating a 3 VMs. Okay, while creating a 3 VMs, if you choose this available set, all VMs will create in this available set group. Okay, then that's what I'm telling. When you have a 3 VMs here, this all VMs should be in the same configuration.
Okay. The 3 VMs are different purposes.
VMs are different VMs. Okay, maybe
Uh,
3 database servers, database 1, database 2, database 3. Maybe you are using for high availability of 3 applications. Okay, you have maybe application 7 application servers. Okay, because of load you are creating number of application servers, right? Maybe I have a one web app server is there. Sorry, web application I have using 4 servers. So 4 servers are running in the same application, same web app, same application. That using for the load purpose I'm using for 4 servers. Okay, so all are in the same available set, but VM name is 01, 02, 03, 04. Okay, so when you have a 4 VMs, the 4 VMs should be in the same configuration. So whenever maybe someone is requested to ask you to change the one VM size, so it will be impact for other VMs also. So that's why I'm recommend you to don't change specific VM of when we are VMs are multiple VMs are in the same available set. Have to resize for all the VMs. You should not go for single VM. That is my concern.
okay. So here just my scenario is here we have 3 servers. 3 servers are working SQL application. SQL application owner is the same. So in that case, we can ask simply. But in case a different application working, one VM user different, another VM owner is different. In that case, we can't ask your owner right to change.
Why you will create a different application team in the one available set?
Okay.
It is
Okay.
based upon the one application. You are keeping high availability of one application.
Oh, okay.
One application database servers. If in the same project you have multiple servers, so each application should be created in a dedicated available set, not for the entire project using for the same available set. Available set is giving high availability for those application. So you have you're telling a different application. I won't tell you this VMs you want to add in the load balancer, other applications, owners applications you are not going to add in the load balancer, right?
Yeah.
So this is
Okay.
for specific application. So those VMs you can keep this for high availability. Okay. So that case you should not use that method I'm telling you. Okay.
Okay, got it.
these informations and all you can get somewhere. So this is called a high availability, and so I forgot that time actually, so that's why I explain you again. And this is called a configuration. So this is your VM configuration. Okay, so the VM, there is a physical host or it's been licensing model. You can see this is using your own licensing. If you want to use your this is currently using for Azure Microsoft Mac. You want to use the own license, then you can use the own licensing. If you have to select this, then you have to change your licensing of that license key. You have to apply in the OS level, then it will change. When you have a hybrid model, then you are using your own license, but your VM is running in the hardware in the Azure cloud. That configuration hybrid benefit also you can, Azure hybrid benefit also you can use. When you want to use this option, you have to you could have a license, own license, then you can use for this Windows Server. Okay, if you don't have, then you can use this no. So Microsoft will give by default that license. Okay, and this is called identity. This is not much important currently. This identity means, let me explain you somewhat. So this identity, in the sense, we have two types of, one is system assigned, one is user assigned. Okay, so you are like you are providing the rollback access control for that any some kind of, you are applying the policies or something. So it's required to authenticate for the, either you can use for the identity authentication method or app AD. So what I can say that I couldn't remember that word. So there is called as a app generation or something. So there is another method also. So we can use that or this. Okay, actually. So either you can use that or use. So for that purpose, we are using this. For VM level, we don't need this identity. We can use this rollback access to on, and we can use what we can use resource group level or subscription level identity. It's been we are using it. Normally, we'll use that. For resource level, we won't use that identity. Okay. If you need anything, suppose this VM you want to be integrated with any third-party tools or something, so that cases we can use this identity using system identity or user identity. That time you can add that user identity. Okay, that what is the user identity you can able to add here. So that we using that authentication, we can able to integrate that application for the with this cloud authentication. Okay, and you have then this is called the properties. Okay, so you know, right, the properties, when we go the war, we also you can see, and same thing also you can see here. Okay,
Okay.
and that I was telling multiple times that agent is not ready, agent is not ready, right? This is one ready. Okay, if this agent is not ready state, the VM also it's having some issues to RDP, and the this agent is not ready means the VM level backup also it will fail. Okay, this is this agent is very important. Okay, this should be in any updated version of the agent. So this is called about the properties, and we have already discussed about what is lock, right? You remember that? So we can able to protect this
Yeah, to
lock
delete
or accidental deletion,
or to,
or you can
yeah,
restrict the control of that users. So you can apply the delete lock. So you can modify that. You can apply the read only lock. So other users can't able to do, or a contributor, even though you have a contributor access, users can't able to modify, or you can't be able to resize the VM also. You can't able to add the disk. Nothing performance, nothing operations you can perform. Okay. So that way you can able to control the resources using the logs. Okay, and this is the best in service we have already discussed, right? So we have created and we have logged in, how we have already discussed in the morning. And this is auto shutdown option. So if you want to shut down your machine, so this option, when we use it, in the sense, suppose every day, this is my development mission, every day my mission has to be stopped. I don't want to do manual, that my mission has to stop after 9 p.m. IST. Okay, that time you can use this, and you can schedule the time, and you can schedule the time zone of that, and you can save it, it will save. Okay, and if you want to notification also for any email IDs, you can able to do it. If you don't want, then you can skip this. Okay.
Okay, here, if it send notification, we have to take any action on that, like click yes or no, like that.
Right.
I mean, send notification, it will send, right? If you select yes here, auto shutdown before.
Okay.
Yeah, we will give one email address. It will send an email to email address.
Hmm.
In the email address, we need to, I mean, select any option like shutdown or don't shut down, like that.
Yes. No, it's not
Okay.
don't shut down. This is just what is the option. Suppose now it's been 12 p.m. or 1 p.m. you schedule it. Okay. So that when you schedule this, once perform this activity, it's going to send an email. This time the VM is stopped. It's going
Oh,
to
just
just
notification.
if action done, it's tell you. If someday you didn't receive the email, then you think like something issue. So they
Oh, okay, okay.
you are in the mailbox that email is received or not. So that way it will help you.
Okay. And if you want to power on,
So that's
I
what
mean, is there any automation for power on?
only for shutdown. If you
Okay.
want to power on, then you have to be manual. Okay. This
Okay.
is only for auto shutdown. I'm telling. You want to start and again it has to automatically stop and automatically start, then we can't use here. We have another service called a run book, automation run books. Using that we can schedule it.
Okay.
Okay, but currently what we are discussing for, I'm only explaining for that current option, but we have that in another way.
Okay.
And this is what auto shutdown, and here is the backup. So now I'm not going to explain here what is backups everything. I'm just going to, here we can configure the backup. Okay, so we can configure the backup, and here this is called a disaster recovery, what we talked about. If you want to enable the disaster recovery, so one region to another region, so this way you can able to enable, so the replication will be established from one region to another region. So your the what is the copy it is there, it will be replicated here, or if you have a reverse replication is there, then it will be replicated. Vice versa, it we can able to replicate. But using disaster, it will be one way. So either primary to secondary, it will be replicated. That's it. Okay. So it won't be vice versa. So if you want to fail over, then it will replicate from this location to this location. Okay. From this location to this location. So that purpose will use for disaster. So these are two options we are going to discuss on the backup. Backup, it's not been in some time. Okay. That is also very backup and restore will come as a together. It is a big topic. So I can't tell you. Okay. And that's why I'm telling. So here we are going to verify the backup is success or not, or we can configure also. And here we
Okay.
can verify the that a disaster is enabled or not, and
Okay.
what is the primary reason, what is the target reason, we can enable here, and we can see it. Okay, that we can verify in the VM level. That's why I'm telling that only. Okay, and now this is the VM updates. So normally this, there is a service called update management. Okay, that this update management also it is there in automation accounts. Okay, so this you can go on using this update management, you can do the patching of this Azure servers, and not only for Azure servers, you can do from the on-prem servers also. But if you want to use this, we have a prerequisite. This comes as a different service actually. So this is update management. We are completely, you know, right? Patch management. We have a Windows deployment update service, and we access him like that. This is also update management is called a one service.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so this I can explain you, but lab I'm not sure we can do that, but I can show you in the if once we have update management, how we can do the create a deployment schedules, how we can like deploy that patches, how we can monitor, how if your fails, how we can do. If you want to include additional KVs, how we can do deploy. You want to exclude the KVs, how to do deploy. That I can able to show. If we have time and if we can do that, we can write. Okay, this update management. The patching process we can write. Okay. So I mean to say lab. To doing the lab, but if that is not worked out, then I will show you the in different account how it looks like, and how we can create a deployment job, how to add the server.
Okay.
group level how to add, and
Okay.
what are the patches you are going to deploy, and you want to, if you want to add custom KBs also, how you to do, you want to exclude, how you do, and you want to remove or add the servers, how you can do. So if you want to create a deployment job, how to schedule that recurrence, and so we have number of options in there. We can discuss that in the update management. So this is for just patching. That if we have a update management, there you can use to do the patches and deployment using update management. So now currently we don't need to Azure VMs or on-prem VMs. We don't need to dependent with another tool. So using update management only, we can do the patching for all Windows and Linux servers. Not only Windows, we can do both Windows and Linux servers. We can do that. Okay. And this is inventory. So this also we won't use, actually this is just collecting tracking purpose on the inventory. So we normally we will use when we are using the update management, right? Here also we need a logistics workspace. So this update management, it won't doesn't have capability to collect the fetch the inventory to deploy the patches. So that way we need a logistics workspace service, and that service we are going to connect to the runbook, sorry, automation account we are going to create for that, and in that we are going to enabling the update service. So which are the servers is being connected to the logistics workspace, those VMs we can able to do the patches using update management. Okay, like this same like this inventory also we are tracking using the logistics workspace. We want to track all the servers from the inventory, we can create a logistics workspace. So currently we don't have, right? So if you have created logistics workspace, you can select that. You can select that automation account, you can enable it. So those, that way you can all the Azure servers you can report to the logistics workspace. You can able to get the inventory, and if you want to perform anything, you can use that as a central location. You can do reports, filling the CPU utilization, memory utilization, everything. You can able to get the reports like that in the logistics workspace. Okay, for that normally we won't this option. So wherever it's really required, I will tell you, and I will more I'll tell you. But what and all I'm telling the giving what is that options, you want to know it. Okay, but it's not, it won't come in the day-to-day activities. Okay, this also same in the change factor. Okay, there is no difference between these two. So we are using logistic workspace to for using automation account to enable the change tracking. So what are the changes? It's been like a changes been performed, right? So all going to be like captured in the logistics workspace as a logs. It will get stored in the logistics workspace. It's here is going to convert the inventory, collecting the inventory. It is going to tracking for all end-to-end activities of that VMs. So that is called this change tracking. Okay, and this configuration manager is still in preview. So this also looks some using for the logistics workspace only. So currently this is, I think it's going for uh, monitoring purpose, and we need some agents to be deployed for that. So currently this has been previous, so we are not discussing more about that. And do you remember that policies? This is the called as a policies. And do you remember that, guys? I told you from resource group level, subscription levels, we can we can apply the policies to manage like a taggings.
Yeah.
Right? So this is called a policies. If you can create a policies, and you can see the what are the policies applied here. So no one will deploy the policies in the resource level. Normally we'll deploy the policies from the resource group level, subscription level, or management group level. Only these three levels we can control. If you create a policies from the resource level, so suppose you have thousands of missions, we have to create 1,000 times of policies and you have to deploy. So that it's not going to work in the real time. So that's why, so we are going to implement the policies from resource group level, subscription level, management group level. But still, it's been inherited the policies from the resource group to resources, right? So resources is a VM, right? So what are the policies get inherited? That means policies applied for all the resources, that you can see this. So here policies. So which are the policies applied for this VM? You can able to see. You can able to see here. So that purpose you can verify here the what are the policies being applied for this or resource you can verify here. Okay. So for that it will be used for this policy in the resource level. And here we have a run command. So what is a run command? So in this run command, we have by default options here. So here we can see the run PowerShell script and disable NLA. So you can, I will explain you last this after explaining this all options. Okay. So now here you can see disable NLA. So when you will disable NLA for the Windows machine? Guys, I'm asking you only. So when
Not sure, bro.
then what is NLA? Network level authentication, right? So when you disable that NLA, what is mean by NLA? When what is mean by NLA when you disable this? So normally this NLA is a network level authentication. So in AD level, you have enabled the security level. You could have increased it. So authentication level and security level you could have increased it. So if it is not been made for that, it's not all that VM is not using that, is not unable to RDP if that policy, and you want to be disable that policy, then if we disable that NLA level authentication, that value will set for 0, then you can able to take the RDP. So that two network level, authentication level, and three levels NLA will disable three values. That three values I will tell you that that three levels. But you want to know NLA is to degrading the security level authentication. For that you are disabling that. Once you disable that, it's going to be security level authentication will be low. Then you can able to take the RDP. So that purpose only you are disabling NLA. So instead of you are unable to log into the server, so how you are going to disable the NLA? So that purpose they are giving the direct command here. Okay. So if you run this, we can able to disable the. I think here I can see that option. I will show you that what are the levels we can disable. So one is network authentication level, and one is a user, and one is something. It's not displaying here. Yeah, here you can see, right? Yeah, security level, user authentication level, and allow secure protocol navigation. These three levels, when you disable these three local policy level, it's going to set, sorry, registry level, it's going to set as a 0 value of these three registry keys. Then it will going to be allowed. Normally it will be a 3 2 1. This could be the order, the values it will be there while enabling NLA. If you disable, this will set all as a 0. Then it's going to allow for the RDP. So this is the by default script they have given here. You can click this and you can run it. It will execute that. So it will disable that NLA for that VM. Okay. If you want to disable Windows Update service, so without logging to the server, you can able to disable the Windows Update service. Okay. So same like that. Here we have a enable EMS. So this is enable EMS is the important option, that emergency management service. This is EMS. So this is, it will allow you to enable the serial console option. We have a below, we have a serial console option here. So here this is the one method way when you are unable to RDP using this serial console option, you can try to troubleshoot in the using serial console. For this you have to enable the EMS. Okay, and here we have enable a remote PowerShell. If you want to enable, you can do enable Windows Update, you can do same like that. So if you want to list the IP configuration and you want to check the RDP settings, and you want to sometimes when we have a certificate, RDP session certificate is expired, the chances to RDP will failure. Okay, so if you try as a part of troubleshooting, you can reset the RDP set also. It will just remove the existing certificate and it will restore the new certificate into the server. So it will maybe chances to fix that issue if you have that kind of issue in your server. And you are going to set a RDP port. So now you don't want to use a default RDP port. Okay, you want to set, so you can see default RDP port is 3389, right? So you don't want to use a default port, you want to use a custom port, then you can update that custom port and you can run it. the port will get changed from here. So that way it will use for this the run command options. Okay, sorry, yeah, run command options. Now what about this run PowerShell? So anything commands directly you can run here when your VM agent is running, then only it will work this PowerShell script, otherwise it won't run. Remember guys, when VM agent is running state only, you can able to do this here, like IP on fh sorry, on fh. So let me run it here. Okay, so you'll get the output here. So like that, if you want to run any commands, so you can run it here. And if you want to know, not, I'm just giving the one example. Okay, if you just now I showed you that disabling NLA, those things also you can do here by default. If you know that the keys and values, you can keep that command path here and you can run it, it will run it. Okay, and you can see currently here it's running, the script is executing, is in progress. So once it's been completed, you can see the output. Sometimes it will show you okay, or sometimes it shows as a completed. That time you can treat it as it's completed. Okay, let it need, when it will complete. Yeah, you can see the output, right? So this is my VM. Okay, let me go and check host name. So like all the commands, if the agent is running, so directly you can able to like manage that OS from here also. So
So
that
if it is VM power off also, we can run it then.
if you have a command, you can directly run it. Yes, OS while you can start that VM. Yeah. That's why old, if command is there, then you can able to stop. You can do whatever you want. It's showing some host name is not recognized the name of the command. Oh shit. Host name spelling mistake. You can see, right? The host name is displaying. So like that, you can do whatever you want. You can run it. Okay, I'm just giving an example here. So that purpose will use for the run command. Sorry, run PowerShell script. So these are the things you can do from here. Okay, now we have discussed about the insights. Okay, already app insights and highlights and metrics, right? So I told you in the VM level we have a different metrics. I'll show you here. You can see these are the metrics. So available memory bytes, CPU consume. So these are the things you can able to select here using the filters. We want to add multiple filters. You can select that CPU you have selected, and what is the available memory also you can select. Okay, like that you can add, and you can see that what are the, if you want a networking, you can select the networking also. Network, total network pin. Okay, so that you can also select. So you can see that, so what is the current utilizing of the networking CPU and memory. So that way you can able to see the you can able to analysis that load of your current virtual machine. That way you can verify here. This we already discussed in there, and you can able to see here, you can custom uh, time range also you can select, and you can use the local time, or you can go for UTC. So that way you can able to set for, you can export and the monitoring metric details, and you can see, and you can change the format also, the chart or bar chart or whatever, however you want, you can able to change that. Okay, so for this way we can use for the metrics. And here is the diagnostic settings. So this diagnostic settings, if we enable this, the same way we are going to enabling, once you enable the diagnostic settings, let me enable it. I will show you, there is a few options. So once you enable, you require a storage account, we have selected as a enable, right, with this name. So currently with this name the storage account is going to create, and the diagnostics option, it will be enabled here. Okay, so what is meant by diagnostic setting here? So diagnostic setting in the sense, So we are enabling the performance counters like a CPU, memory, disk, all the logs, like what are the parameters you can see in the perf log, you can see number of metric value, right? So like that you can see all metric values, you can able to collect the details and you can able to store into the storage account. So let me once enable, let me show you that. Why you people are dropped and you are again joining here? Hello,
Maybe network
Yeah,
issue. I joined at one time like that.
I see someone is joining, so that's okay.
All came.
Let it enable the diagnostic setting, and we'll see what are the options we can see in the diagnostic settings. So how it's going to use of this. Okay.
If you okay, we'll continue tomorrow, bro. In confusing us all the options, right?
Okay, I'm fine actually. You are good. I'm for me explaining is not a problem. So if you are fine, I'm good. So if you want to continue from the diagnostics from tomorrow, I'm good. We have so few more options. It will take more hour to complete all options. At least half an hour minimum. If you want
Yes,
to
bro.
continue
So
or
we are confusing, bro. Lot of options today we are discussing, right?
sorry.
Today we are discussing lot of options, right? In VF.
Yeah. No, Banu is asking like today we have to complete so many things.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay. If you enable the diagnostic, we have so many options. Okay. If you want to explain, it will take a lot of time. So you guys are fine. I'm good to explain to continue from the diagnostics. Okay. So go through that all.
If you okay, we can take section in afternoon or evening.
But I can't commit. If I go live here, I have to go and no, if I'm there in home, I can take. So what time you are going to prefer then? If it's a fine in the evening, at least evening, I say
Sorry, bro.
8 o'clock or 9 o'clock.
Yeah, fine, bro.
You guys connect and tell me the timings. I'm good to. So you for me also it's good to if you complete early. Okay. Okay. I'm
Okay.
start this session. So we're not discussing technically.